Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Leadership Speak series at L Forum. Today, we have a very exciting guest who has had a very interesting and highly successful journey, and had the privilege and pleasure of working with him in the past, and a very good friend. Um, I have the pleasure of introducing Sudhir Pai, Managing Partner of Suma Monde Capital Partners and Ventures. Hi, Sudhir. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon, Dr. Ingo. How are you?
Thank you, Sudhir. Feels good to be called doctor. How have you been, and how are things with you?
Good. It's a brilliant day today. It has been quite busy. Lot of work achieved since morning, so that's why I call it a brilliant day. But in Dallas, Texas, the weather
Excellent.
is pretty. Yeah.
So, without further ado, let me, probably jump right into our show. And my first question to you, or my first request to you, would be to tell us your journey as an entrepreneurial leader, as to how you got here and what was your journey as an entrepreneurial leader.
Certainly. Thank you very much for having me on your channel, Dr. Ingo. My background is I'm a chartered accountant from India. Born and brought up in Bangalore, in Banashankari. Completed my 10th as well as PU in Bangalore, and then joined Infosys after completing my chartered accountancy in 1997. That is where we both met.
Absolutely, very exciting times.
Yeah. That was the best part of Infosys, I would say. So 99, Infosys Finance decided to send me to the US, and it was a great start for me. Infosys was just about to take off. It had completed its public offering in India, and it was looking forward to the public offering in US on NASDAQ. So best of times for me to relocate to the US, 99. So Infosys gave me that break. Came here in Fremont, came here to US, landed in Fremont, San Francisco. Had a good journey at Infosys, was part of the secondary ADR offering, finance, administration, infrastructure, facilities, had a chance to work with a lot of senior leaders at Infosys. So it was a great 11-year journey. And 2008, when I looked behind and I was thinking for myself, like, where am I? And technology, as you also know, technology in India is a great story today. But then, it was a questionable industry in 97 when I joined Infosys. All the chartered accountants coming out of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India were looking forward to joining manufacturing industry and other industries, but technology was quite green. And that was one of the fears I always had, is technology going to go obsolete? And I was in the finance team. So, the challenges of manufacturing and other aspects of complex businesses were not there. Doesn't mean to say that the IT is a less complex business, but there are certain, things about manufacturing which I was missing. So I gave it a thought whether I should continue working for a corporate. I was 33 then, it was 2008. I decided to call it a day to the corporate life. It was not the best of the times to leave a company like Infosys, which hired me and then brought me to the US, gave me all the education in life. But then I thought that was the best time to, make a shift, because at 33, if I don't make a change, my concern was, what if at 50, technology goes in a different direction and I end up with a bad or not such a desirable career from there on. So I didn't want to take a bet at age 50. So I decided to take it at age 33. So got out. The only thing I could do coming out of Infosys, being on the other side of the table, was to start something and learn afresh. And that's something that I've been always looking forward to, learning something new every day on a daily basis. Even at Infosys, the company and the management was kind enough to give me a change every 3 years. So starting as an account executive in 97, I grew to be the associate vice president at Infosys, running the entire finance department. I was the CFO of North Americas. So that led to the inception of My Tax Filer and My Startup CFO, which is a outsourced CFO firm as well as a tax consulting firm. So I started that in 2008 along with my partner Sandeep Shroff, who also happens to be an ex-Infoscion, and my wife Supriya. So that's another thing. I got my wife involved in my business very early. She was a homemaker. So when I was running the business in 2009, when I looked at my numbers, and the numbers were nothing like what I wanted, not even 1/10 of what I used to make at Infosys. That's when I told my wife, "Hey, look, everybody has deserted me. You are the only one. Come on board. Let me train you. You manage HR from today. So she jumped on board. Kids were small. I have 3 kids. Today they are 23, 21, and 14. First 2 are girls and third is a boy. And when I left Infosys at 33, Sujit was just born. So it was not an easy decision, and but we still thought it's the best decision to take, risk to be taken at the right age and at the right time. It was recession. So I started my business in a recession. So My Tax Filer, we went through our own challenges of starting from zero to where we were in 21 when I sold the business. So for almost 13 years we had a great run up, and the business did pretty well. 2021 June is when we had a private equity firm out of Silicon Valley approach us, and they wanted to look at our business. And we took that offer from them. After 13 years, we wanted to take some chips off the table and pivot to a different business. So I ended up getting out of the tax and CFO business, and I got into the wealth advisory side of the business. So in September 2019, even before I exited out of my tax and CFO business, I started a business called Legacy Wealth Planner. The business is more focused on managing money for clients. So one of the reasons why I started this business is, my own money was not being managed well. 13 years I slogged to grow my business, grew it into a beautiful asset. But then my own money was not growing well. I kept my money with multiple companies, Edward Jones, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, name it, but money didn't grow. And what I felt is the engagement that you have with a client when you're doing his or her taxes is once or twice a year. So doing wealth will give me access to clients. The engagement is a 12-month engagement. You continuously want to talk to clients, talk to them about money. Client is quite engaged, not just at the end of the year, but throughout the year. So that's what led to Legacy Wealth Planner. And then the business grew very well because, again, it's COVID that came after 2019. March 2020 is when COVID hit, and then the business just ramped up like crazy. Today we manage about $400 million, and while I was running the Legacy Wealth Planner business from 2019 to 2022, the thought was, I have been raising money for a lot of the alternative investment sponsors, like real estate developers, and because one of the wealth asset allocation practices that I have in my wealth advisory practice is putting money in a direct asset, not just be completely exposed to the stock markets because they are emotional and quite volatile. Idea was also to expose clients to direct assets such as real estate asset classes, take multifamily, single family, and all these different asset classes. So started putting clients' money in some large sponsors like Cantor Fitzgerald, Griffin, name some big of the iCapital, Silver Lake, Blackstone, Blue Rock, all these big names. And 3 years later, I thought, why am I doing this in others' funds where I don't have control and my clients trust me? So that is when the idea of Suma Monday Capital Partners was launched. Suma Monday Capital Partners today manages about 6,000 acres of land. which we very quickly ramped up from February of 2021 to date. So we quickly bought about 6,000 acres in 8 different states. And the reason why we decided land to be the asset was for 2 reasons. One, we were pumped with $9 trillion of cash by the Fed, and land is the only asset that is inflation protected. So and doesn't call for a lot of management, and easy asset. You are not taking construction risk or any kind of risk, but you smartly pick a piece of land which is in the growth phase, on the transitional phase, because COVID changed the landscape of the working environment of the US. People started working from downtown offices to remote offices in suburbs. So that is where we started buying assets, land assets. So 2023, we are looking forward to developing some of those. And we also pivoted because land had become very expensive and is expensive. We pivoted to buying medical offices, because medical offices is an asset where COVID didn't affect it, and that's something which is considered essential. So we started buying into medical offices, and now we are also looking into affordable housing, which is basically affordable housing has different asset classes, but we are right now focusing on tiny homes, single family, smaller homes, town homes, and RV parks and mobile homes. Because the world knows that US is headed towards a recession. We don't know if we are in a recession or we are done with recession, but the news of recession is the headline all day long. So I think there is some more bad news to come in the stock market. So it's still better to be safe with stock markets, be more exposed to direct investments and controllable assets. And that has been my story, Dr. Ingo. And I continue to work hard running the few businesses that I have today. Apart from these businesses, I also have a venture fund. We are investing heavily in India because as we were investing in land, I started thinking, what is the next multi-bagger opportunity? And we thought ventures is the next multi-bagger opportunity. If you look at the asset classes, you have equity, you have real estate, and then you have ventures. So when you look at all three, ventures is the place where you can make a lot of money. But how do you choose these venture firms, right? How do you choose companies? How do you find the right CEO to invest in? So we went to Silicon Valley, in 21 August. Saw that the prices were very inflated. Decided to go to India. Started meeting all the big names of the VC industry. Met Mr. Rishi Navani of Epic Capital, Kanwaljit Suri of Fireside Ventures. Talked to Mr. Nandan Nilekani's group Fundamentum, Bloom Ventures, and all these big names. And each one of them wanted us to write a $3 to $5 million check. So that's when we decided that we'll create a fund. Not only we put our own money, but we put our clients' money. We kind of democratize it. So we created a US fund in Delaware, and it's a $25 million fund. We requested Mr. Suresh Vaswani, who is the ex-CEO of Wipro and was the president of Dell Services. We requested him to come on board. So he's the chairman of the fund. So we launched this fund. We are very close to closing the fund. So we have made significant investments in India. The thesis is B2B SaaS, AI, ML, and Indian companies for India, D2C companies. So we are doing pretty well in that fund. So it's called Sumamonde Ventures. So that's the third gig. So I have wealth management, real estate, and then the ventures fund. And last but not the least, to manage the equity markets, we have a startup. And that's again with one of our own friends, Sudhir Holla, who used to be with Infosys. I partnered up with him in 21 when I wanted to have a strategy which is kind of helping us manage money in the stock markets, not with an expectation of return, but with an expectation of protecting the money. So if you keep protecting your money, for 10 years, you will make money automatically. So it's called drawdown risk in technical terms. So we try to reduce the drawdown risk, which S&P 500 or Nasdaq 100 typically has. So these are the things that I am doing right now, Dr. Ringo, and it's been a fantastic journey, experience, and I continue to work 17-18 hours a day.
Are you sure 17 and 18 hours is enough for you, Sudhir? Or
It's not enough, but I have to sleep, right? I have to maintain my health so I can work for another 15 years. So
I mean, my head is spinning. I think I got a few more gray hair as you kind of kept telling me all the things you've been doing, and I feel so inspired and feel so proud of you, and very privileged to call you my friend and colleague. So I wish you a lot of success, many more successes as you continue to grow and generate jobs, right? So, and I think today's topic, which is why I kind of thought you might be a great person to be on our show. Today's topic that we have chosen, at least the topic I've chosen to speak, is about empowerment. So, in all of this, I'm sure it is a very integral part of your strategy, empowerment, right? So, what is your definition of empowerment, Sudhir?
Great question, and very powerful topic, powerful word. We keep using it every day. I keep telling people who meet me, I keep telling them every day that, the reason why I am here today is because of Infosys. Infosys empowered us, it brought us to this great country, and it taught us a lot. After our college education, after our parents giving us discipline and, all the knowledge and education that they had to impart to us, and all the money that they had to spend and love and care that they had to give. It's Infosys which kind of empowered me in this country. And what I did, as part of my journey, in my journey, how did I empower others? I did empower a lot of people who used to work with me at Infosys to scale up to my level so that, when I left Infosys, the company never had to think, what's going to happen, to the department. So there was a lot of delegation. People were empowered to take up the next level, and that was a good transition plan. And Infosys, when I meet my ex-bosses, even today, I meet them every year, and I give them a visit whenever I go to India. So we all love each other even today, is because, when you take care of others, when you're leaving your job to create your next journey, you need to empower people, right? So that is one thing. And second is, when I started my own business, I helped a lot of people move up the value chain, right? I am very happy that my wife joined me in 2009. Today she is running the wealth business while I am running the real estate business. So empowering her to do what she could do, which she didn't do when she was in India. She was a housewife, had 3 kids, and that whole the journey of working with the team and then going through all the different stakeholders in the business really did empower her in getting to where she is today. She is one of the powerful ladies of Dallas right now. She does a pretty good job running the wealth, and she exited the tax business, actually not me. I gave it to her in 2019 and started the wealth business, and she is the one who grew the business, and there was a good scope for us to exit in 21. Also, when you ask me about empowerment, one thing comes in mind is the franchising of the tax business that I did. So I launched a franchise business. The idea was, beyond growing the company, without really having to add more, partners in the same business, how do you grow the business, right? And in America, we have seen, right from McDonald's to Burger Kings of the world, the business, one of the expansion plans is to grow by franchising the business. So, the team that I brought from India, and I did the same thing to them, which Infosys did to me, bringing people from India on L1, helping them with the green card, setting up a branch for them and letting them grow it. So I created almost 14 franchises, out of which almost 7 were run by my own ex-employees who joined me in Bangalore, who came here and then started those. So they are all running super successful businesses today. Very proud of them. They all are doing super well. The Austin guy is doing extremely well. The Houston guy is doing extremely well. The Bay Area guys are doing well. So so that gives me a lot of happiness when I see people who I helped or empowered. Help is a very simple word, but helping them learn the tricks of trade, helping them how to, handle crisis, helping them in handling, the challenges when you start your new business. And I made sure that they didn't have to go through the same challenges that I had from 2008 to 10. I didn't have a salary. I had too many employees. I had a family, three kids, and I had a mortgage on the house. So I made sure that when they started, they are not troubled with all of that, burdened with all of that. So I paid them a salary even while they were running a different business. I gave them X number of clients and said, hey, start your business. You run it under my brand, pay me a royalty. It's business end of the day, and grow it. And as you grow it to a certain level, let's talk. And if you want to run it as your own brand, feel free to. So, that's one thing that I did. And today, when I'm running these multiple businesses, the only way you can grow it is, by empowering others, right? So the team that I usually hire usually works with me for at least 13, 14 years. And after that, they continue to be in good terms with me, so that, what Infosys did to me, I am doing to them, and we all create a nice community of happy people.
Excellent. I mean, I think I couldn't agree more. And both of us have been beneficiaries of that culture, and we have learned a lot, which is why even after 2.5 decades, you and I still remain friends. We've had numerous arguments also while we were in the system, but that is because it was transactional. Because you were
HR, I was finance.
So we were fighting for our own turf. We'll fight for our own turf. But at the end of the day, we walked off as friends. And we remain friends, which is the beauty of, I think, a good, mature relationship. So my next question, since you've had such an exciting journey, Sudhir, for the benefit of your audiences, I would like you to tell us what are the benefits of empowerment and how have you used it as a competitive advantage? You gave me some snippets on this whole franchising, where I can sense how you have used empowerment. And I'm very keen to hear it from you, your story, the benefits and how it is a competitive advantage.
So empowerment has a chain reaction, right? You empower one and they will empower thousands. So I always think, to create a community of happy people, successful people, empowering one another is a must. If you keep pulling people down, that community is going to suffer. So the only way one can be happy within and one can make others happy is by more than helping with money or, any kind of help. You empower others. You help them with knowledge, you help them with connections, you help them with ideas. Money is there in the market these days. There is a lot of money, we all know. But it takes so much of time and energy and guts to kind of empower people with a lot of different things that you can really give them to make them happy or successful. So I think this word empower needs to be implemented or has to be practiced on a day-to-day basis by each and every individual, so that we all continue to see very successful Indian community here in the US, right? Today, we see Indians representing in the political area. People have scaled to be state representatives, and in parts of Texas, Bay Area, New Jersey, New York, so I think the day we call ourselves successful is the day when we have our president to be an Indian, right? And all that can only happen with empowering the community. And for that to happen, each one of them has to empower one another.
Excellent. So while we all know the benefits of empowerment, do you see any challenges of empowerment? Are there any challenges to empowerment?
Well, yeah, challenges are there everywhere, right? Because if you as a person is principled to do certain things, call it empowerment, empowering others. In the process of doing that, you will always have few, negative responses. I have talked to you about franchising, right? When you're franchising, there are one or two franchises who kind of break the rules. And that's when you start thinking, should I really do all this and take all this shit on you, because you are trying to help others, empower others, make others happy. And what is this going on, right? Is this the right thing? It keeps coming to your mind. So that's one of the biggest challenge in my mind. And it's not sometimes easy to even empower people. You may think you are trying to help someone, you are trying to empower someone, but that the other person on the other side may think, why are you trying to put your nose in my side, right? Don't interfere in my business. We all felt our ex-bosses at Infosys, when they say something, we take it with lot of happiness that somebody is giving us an advice. But world has changed. Today it is best is what you need to do is you need to charge for your advice. Only then they will listen to your advice. If you give free advice, nobody wants it. So these days when someone comes to me, they say, hey Sudhir, I have a question. More than happy to initiate a consultation, right? How much do you charge? $400 an hour, increments of 30 minutes. Let's sit and talk. There's no what they pay for. They really have a value for it. So there are challenges of empowerment there, but there are ways. If you are principled to do certain things, I think there are ways to overcome those challenges. And I think positive news, happy news, bad news, negative news keeps happening on a day-to-day basis. I think we have to just go with what we decide that we want to do in life and move on.
Excellent. I couldn't agree with you more on that, Sudhir, because I also feel that empowerment, too much of it, you have to balance it sometimes. People don't take you. Free advice has never worked for me too. Whenever I've given somebody free advice, they have not respected it. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
That's why they say when you study something, you better give dakshina. Otherwise, you will not respect that education, right? You give a dakshina. That's why. So my final question to you, more a request, is given your vast, rich experience you've had as a professional, as an entrepreneur, what would your few words of advice be to fellow entrepreneurs, young leaders, students? What would your advice be to them?
Yeah, great question and quite a common question. My advice is to the ones that are about to start entrepreneurship. If you decide to start, don't give up. Hardship is there. Hardship will be there. Hardship is not going to remain forever. So no pain, no gain, right? So don't give up. If you are one of those that gives up, don't change your path from being someone who is employed to getting into entrepreneurship. Don't do that, because once you do that, and if you want to again come back, you will not have the courage to do it again. So before you take the leap to start your journey of entrepreneurship, please think. There are a lot of ways to figure out if that's right for you. You don't have to take the biggest leap. Before that you can try small. And also I tell you, and with my Infosys background, I meet a lot of corporate employees from the IT side. Everybody comes to me and, man, you did a great job quitting the job in 2008. Look at where you are. I'm like, well, look, if you can still do it today. If you want to be where I am today in the next 15 years, leave your job today. Instead of feeling bad, right? But think before you do it, because not everybody is cut out for the same thing, right? So that is for the wannabe entrepreneurs. And for the startup entrepreneurs, I would always say that, look, create a team. One-man show will never work. Create scale. Businesses only grow on scale. And be kind to others, be nice to others, respect others, and just continue to work hard. And be surrounded with the right people, so that's all matters to entrepreneurs to grow their business. Continuous working hard and being surrounded with the right people.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you so much. I think I wish the people who are watching and the young entrepreneurs who are watching take these words of advice seriously, because I agree, you can't give up, and it is a really hard journey. You got to be very clear if you have the resolve to do it.
Yeah.
So I think they are priceless words of advice. So without further ado, I wish you all success and all glory and all happiness for all your ventures. I hope you keep succeeding and creating, happiness, creating communities, happy communities, as you said. And look forward to many more interactions with you. And hopefully, as you know, this is a group I've started primarily for entrepreneurial leaders like us. And so the hope is that we'll make this our little community where we can share ideas, thoughts, and help each other on this journey.
Certainly.
Thank you for coming along. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ingo. To all your listeners, viewers, feel free to reach out to me if you need any help in the United States, if you are coming from elsewhere. I have got varied experiences in finance, tax, everybody needs help, wealth, and now startup journey and real estate. So every individual, every institution needs these things. So if there is a need for any of this in your life, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help. And then Dr. Ingo, thank you very much for having me on your show. And I look forward to, working with you, helping any of your listeners, viewers with any help that I can offer from my end.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless. Thanks, Sudhir.
Thank you very much.
Like, share, and subscribe to the EL Forum channel.